Why do some people become wealthy, while others struggle with money their entire lives? This question has echoed through history for millennia. Thousands of years ago in Babylon, a man discovered 5 simple rules that could turn ordinary income into lasting wealth. These laws built an empire. These rules were so powerful that they are still taught today in the famous book, The Richest Man in Babylon, a legacy of financial wisdom. And the story behind these rules begins with a young man named Nomasir, a man destined to seek the truth behind the power of gold. Before this story begins, these powerful money principles were once shared among friends, simple but life-changing lessons about the nature of wealth. The first lesson was simple, yet incredibly powerful. No matter how much money you earn, always pay yourself first. A universal law of prosperity. Before spending on anything else, set aside at least 10% of your income. That money should never be treated as spending money. It is the seed. Instead, think of it as an employee that works for you, continuously generating more income over time. Let your gold multiply while you sleep. The second lesson was about seeking the right advice. Whenever you make financial decisions, make sure the advice comes from people who truly understand. Listening to experienced experts helps you avoid costly mistakes and protects your wealth. Wisdom is the true shield of your fortune. The third lesson was about making money work for you. Instead of spending everything you earn, invest your money so it can grow and serve you. When that money produces returns, reinvest those earnings again and again. Over time, this creates a cycle of automatic growth. And that is how financial freedom is built. But the story becomes even more interesting when we look at Arkad, the richest man in Babylon. Arkad did not become wealthy by luck. He became rich through discipline, patience, and wisdom. He understood an important truth. Wealth itself is not as valuable as the knowledge required to create it. Arkad realized that giving gold without knowledge is dangerous. So Arkad decided to test his son. One day he called Nomasir and said, "I built this fortune through hard work, saving, and wise investments. If you can prove that you understand how to manage wealth, then one day all of this will be yours." To begin the test, Arkad gave Nomasir 2 things. First, a bag filled with gold coins. Second, 5 golden rules for building wealth written on clay tablets. Then he gave him a challenge. Nomasir had to leave Babylon and live in the world for 10 years, relying only on his own decisions and effort. 10 years to learn the ways of gold. When he returned after 10 years, he would explain what he had learned. If worthy, he inherits. But if he failed, Arkad would donate his wealth to charity. The stakes were absolute. Determined to prove himself, Nomasir began his journey into the unknown world. Soon he heard that the city of Nineveh was full of opportunities. Wealth seemed easy there. Believing he could grow his wealth quickly, he traveled there with high hopes. Not long after arriving, he met 2 friendly men who owned a beautiful racehorse. They told him the horse was the fastest in the region and guaranteed to win. The only problem, they said, was that they didn't have enough money to place the bet. They convinced Nomasir this was a sure opportunity. He saw a chance for quick gain. Excited by the chance to multiply his gold quickly, Nomasir invested his money in the race. Only afterward did Nomasir realize the truth. He had been a fool. Later, Nomasir met another man who proposed a textiles business opportunity. Tekistotiru from a recently deceased merchant. The plan sounded profitable and safe, but the partner never returned. The business collapsed. Gold had slipped away. He sold his horse, dismissed his servant, and struggled just to buy food. Hardship had arrived. In that difficult moment, he remembered the 5 golden rules his father had given him. He opened the clay tablets and began reading them carefully. As he read them, he realized something painful. If he had followed these rules earlier, he might never have lost his fortune. But instead of giving up, he decided to start again. This time with wisdom. A foundation of gold must be built on a foundation of knowledge. The first rule said, gold comes gladly and in increasing quantity to anyone who saves at least 1/10 of what they earn. So even though he was earning very little from labor work, Nomasir began saving 10% of his income. Every coin was a seed for his future. The second rule said, gold stays with the cautious owner who invests it wisely with guidance from experts. Guidance is the shield of gold. He realized his earlier mistakes came from trusting strangers and chasing quick profits. From that moment forward, he invested only with the wise. The third rule taught an important principle. Gold works diligently for the wise owner who finds profitable ways to employ it. In simple terms, money must always be put to work. When invested wisely, money begins to generate more money, a constant stream of wealth. This is the power of compounding. Even small investments, when given enough time, can grow into significant wealth. Time is the master of gold. The fourth rule warned, gold slips away from those who invest in things they do not understand. Knowledge and research are essential tools. Research is the price of security. Before making any investment decision, Nomasir would study the laws and the risks with great care. And the fifth rule gave the most important warning of all. Gold flees from those who chase unrealistic returns or follow tricksters. True wealth is never built through shortcuts. It is built through discipline, patience, and knowledge. He followed these rules for 10 years. Slowly but steadily, he rebuilt his life. A decade of effort, governed by the 5 laws of Babylon, had transformed him into a master of gold. When he finally returned to Babylon after a decade, he did not come back empty-handed. He returned with 6 bags of gold, earned through wisdom. Standing before his father, he said, "Whether you give me your fortune or not no longer matters, because now I understand how wealth is created." And that is the greatest lesson. Money can be lost, but financial knowledge can never be taken away. It is the eternal inheritance. Once you understand how wealth works, you can always build it again. Join our high IQ community for more wisdom. This is the way.